students, my name is Simranjeet Kaur and I have been working as assistant professor at Biyani Group of Colleges. Today my topic is interviews and the different types of interviews which are held, and I have been talking about this topic on behalf of Guru KPO. So what basically interview is and why they are held. Interview is basically an exchange of information from one person to another, and in interviews a person known as the interviewer, a conversation in which one person interviewer obtains information from another person. The person who wants to obtain information is known as the interviewer. He generally asks different types of questions from the other person who is known as the interviewee. Interviewee gives information about his experiences, about his education, about his talents, and this type of information is collected by the interviewer, and he takes this information so that he can appoint that person, the other person, for the appropriate job. And there are many characteristics of the interview. First one is the formal meeting. So what interview is? It is basically a type of formal meeting where a person meets the other person and he tries to get as much information as possible, and so that he can utilize that information for the further process. Next is the process of testing. Interview is generally a process of testing. Interviews are held at different levels in different organizations. In companies we can see that there are different types of interviews held. These interviews are generally held so that the person can be appointed for a particular position for which he has applied to. And it is a process of testing. Process of testing means he is tested for his education, for his experiences, and any kinds of talents or special qualities he has for a particular set post. A definite purpose. As we can see that interview has a definite purpose. A definite purpose means for what purpose he is being interviewed by the interviewer. The interviewee gives as much information as is required by the interviewer, and tells about his experiences, about his education, about his special talents, any kind of internships he has undergone. So all this information is collected by the interviewer. So it has a definite purpose, whether the interviewer wants to select that person for the particular job or not. So it all depends upon these things. And the last one is preparation. One of the important characteristics of any interview is that there is a preparation required at both the ends of the interviewer and the interviewee. Then it means that the interview and the interview both have to be prepared for the interview. The venue has to be decided, and also the date and the time, and also how much time it will take to conduct the interview. Interviews can be held on phone, it can be conducted face to face, and it can also be conducted via video. So all these different methods are used to conduct the interviews. Now I would like to talk about the different types of interviews which are held. They can be conducted over the phone or held face to face or over the videos. The first type of interview is the screening interview. As the name suggests, that this type of interview is done to screen down the number of applicants. This is generally conducted by the larger companies where there is a large pool of applicants. And when there is a large pool of applicants, it is not possible to take the personal interview of each and every person. So the screening of the applicants is done, and they are generally given a test or some sort of debate or discussion is held, and in that debate or discussion they are generally screened down, and only a few applicants are allowed to go for the further interview. So this is the type of interview which is conducted to screen down the applicants. The next is telephone interview. The telephone interviews are generally held over the telephone. This is done to minimize the travelling expenses in case the person is living far out and he is not able to make out to the personal interviews. So the telephone interviews are held. These type of interviews help to select the prospective candidates. Next is the video conferencing. Video conferencing is another type of interview which is held over the video. All the things are mandatory, like a good dressing sense should be there, and it is also done on the same basis as the personal interviews are held. So the video conferencing does not have much different to it. The only thing is that it is not held face to face, but it is conducted over the videos. The next is the panel interview. Panel interview, as the name suggests, that in this type of interview, number of interviewers are there, and they take the interview of a single interviewee, and number of people are present in the same room, or they can be present in different rooms, and the interview of the same candidate is held by different types of interviewers, and their results are compared, and then the prospective candidate is selected. Next is the group interview. Group interview is that in which a number of applicants are interviewed simultaneously by the interviewer, and in this a large number of people are present, and they are taken the interviews on simultaneously sitting in the same room or the same area. The next is the sequential or the serial interview. Sequential or the serial interview, as the name suggests, it is a type of interview where a candidate is has to undergo different types of interviews by different people. He may sit in the same room or go to the different rooms, and he is interviewed by the different people so that his level or his talents can be judged accordingly. The next is the directive interview. The directive interview is that interview in which a number of people interview an applicant, and there is a parity between the different interviewers, and their results are compared so that the appropriate or the best candidate can be selected for the post. Now, next is the meandering style. Meandering style, as the name suggests, that it is a type of interview where the recruiter or the interviewer is not very much talented, or where he is not very much expertise in a particular area. So whenever he is interviewing some other person, he asks some random questions, and on those basis the applicant is selected. The next is the stress interview. Stress interview is type of interview where the people are given some kind of stress, or they are made to wait for long hours. This type of interview generally tests the patience of the applicants, and in this they are waited for long hours, or they are given very stressful situations, and the main purpose of this type of interview is to test whether that person is very patient and can handle stress easily or not. The last type of the interview is the mealtime interview. This type of interview is generally very social in nature. In this type of interview, the applicant is taken the interview by going on some meal with the recruiter or the interviewer, and in this type the applicant is not only judged for the types of talents or experiences or education, but also how he generally takes the social how is the social style of that person, how he reacts to the other people, how he handles the staff, and how he is he very much familiar with the situation, social etiquettes, etc. or not. So these are the different types of interviews which are held by to judge the person. Thank you very much. If you have liked the video, please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.